Have you ever paid attention to the fact that some women don't open up to just anyone? Not to every charming guy, not to every confident voice in the room, only to a very small, selective group of men. And the moment she reveals something deeply personal, her fears, her past, or a dream she barely admits to herself, you are no longer just another man in her life. You've crossed an invisible boundary that most never reach. Most men chase attention. They chase approval, compliments, gifts, validation. But when she opens her inner world to you, she's offering something far more valuable. She's giving you access to what she protects most, to the part of herself that is private, guarded, and sacred. That isn't weakness. That's trust. And trust is never given casually. Women are instinctively protective of their inner world. The harder a man pushes, the more she retreats. The louder he chases, the thicker the walls become. But the man who remains calm, who doesn't panic when she pulls back, who listens without judgment or urgency, he becomes quietly magnetic. Without force, without effort, he steps into a position of influence she may not even consciously recognize, because what she's sharing isn't just conversation. It's a signal. A subconscious evaluation, a silent test to see if you are emotionally safe, if you are rare, if you belong among the very few who matter to her. Here's what most men never understand. Women constantly assess energy, consistency, and emotional presence. Every reaction you give, every pause, every tone shift is being processed. Even when it feels casual to you, it's not casual to her. She isn't looking for perfection. She's looking for stability. She wants a man who can carry emotional weight without collapsing under it. If she's opening up to you, if she's exposing vulnerability, it's because you've already passed a threshold. You're no longer background noise. You're becoming someone who can influence her world without trying to dominate it. Pay attention to what she shares. It's never random. It's never meaningless. These aren't throwaway words. They are carefully chosen glimpses behind the mask she shows the world. If she talks about her insecurities, her disappointments, or moments of weakness, you've accessed a level of trust most men will never experience. And this isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional currency. You didn't take it. You earned it. And that makes you rare. Most men think this is about what she's saying. It's not. It's about how she feels while she's saying it. Does she feel calm, safe, understood, validated? That emotional environment cannot be faked. It's instinctive. When you respond with patience and authenticity, you demonstrate emotional intelligence that instantly separates you from the crowd. And she knows it. Every time she chooses to confide in you, it's a silent acknowledgement that you're inside her inner circle. That's uncommon. That's powerful. The men who fail never see this. They assume vulnerability is casual. They treat it like normal conversation. They miss the signal entirely. But every word she shares is a sign. She sees you differently. She trusts you differently. She values you differently. Once you internalize this, you begin to understand why some men stay on the edges of her life, while others, those who understand female psychology, become unforgettable. Here's something almost no man realizes. When a woman shares her private world with you, she's testing worthiness. Not for sex, not for validation, but to see if you can handle her complexity without fear, judgment, or control. Most men fail because they mistake vulnerability for permission to push, to claim, to escalate. But what she's offering isn't access to her body, it's insight into her heart. And the moment you overstep, pressure her, or violate boundaries, the trust evaporates instantly. You don't just lose influence. You're removed from the space she reserved for the rare few. Emotional intimacy is the highest currency, and women measure it with extreme precision. Every story, every fear, every confession reveals priorities, wounds, and emotional patterns. If you listen without trying to fix her or prove yourself, you demonstrate something far more attractive than confidence. You demonstrate safety. That is composure. That is quiet authority. That is dominance without arrogance. She will never reveal everything at once. Trust is given in layers. Each interaction is a test. Each response reinforces or destroys her belief in you. One misstep can close the gate permanently. There are no negotiations, no resets. Most men confuse flirtation with connection, attention with intimacy, conversation with respect. And that's why they remain invisible while others become unforgettable, simply because they understand what's really happening. Here's the distinction that separates average men from those who occupy her mind effortlessly. It's not her words, it's her emotional state while speaking. Is she tense, guarded, or calm and grounded? That emotional resonance is the lead. Without it, attraction never deepens. It doesn't matter how attractive you are or how confident you appear. If you cannot create emotional security, you will never enter the inner circle she reserves for the men who matter. And here's the part few men grasp. When she shares vulnerability, it's also silent appreciation. Not praise, not flattery, but recognition. Recognition that you are different, that you can witness her unfiltered reality without needing to dominate or control it. That's why so many men never move past surface-level interaction. They don't know how to be rare. They don't know how to be calm strength instead of noise. Every personal truth she shares is a test of your emotional intelligence, your patience, and your ability to hold space without control. Pass it, and you move beyond attraction into respect and influence. True intimacy isn't built through words, gestures, or physical escalation. It's built through presence. Through your ability to exist in her emotional world without needing to overpower it. When she talks about heartbreak, fear, or self-doubt, she's revealing patterns hidden from almost everyone. Men who panic become a threat. Men who listen with grounded empathy become magnetic. She notices always. Her sharing is also a mirror. She's observing how you manage your own emotions. Can you stay composed when she's vulnerable? Can you remain steady when emotions rise? That signals emotional mastery, and women sense it instantly. The more she reveals, the more exclusive your position becomes. Not because you manipulate, but because access creates value. This is why some men linger in a woman's mind long after interactions end. Emotional composure. Patience, the ability to hold her world without consuming it. When she shares, she's sending subtle signals, pauses, tone shifts, eye contact. She's measuring your reaction to authenticity, your respect for boundaries, your stability under emotional weight. Women do not open up to men who feel emotionally unsafe. If she's sharing, you've already passed the first invisible test. Most men rush, the rare man listens. Every vulnerability is layered with meaning. Every confession asks the same question. Can you hold me without breaking? Can you see me without trying to change me? Trust is exclusivity, and exclusivity is power. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's invitation. How you respond defines your position in her mind permanently. And here's the final truth. When a woman opens her inner world to you, she's already made a subconscious choice. You are no longer competing. You've entered a space where presence carries weight. The strongest men don't rush. They don't overreact. They hold space. And in doing so, they become unforgettable. So ask yourself this. If she trusts you with her deepest fear and you respond with calm authority instead of anxiety, what does that make you in her mind? Comment your answer below.